is there really something we're missing that's so simple?
Mm, mm,
Where did that come from? Is
mm.
it, if you
Well, if you
think
look at your
about,
balance sheet, right? If we're thinking it purely from a business perspective, is that in a balance sheet, highest tag item for costs for human capital
yeah,
is people,
yeah,
um, and they're not a piece of code. We have intrinsic motivations, we have extrinsic motivations, and given in almost every business, until we become automated with AI, it is going to be the biggest line item in terms of cost, and
mm,
as human beings we have different motivations, and that's really where the science comes from, and human resource management combines psychology, it combines sociology. We have very different fields, but I think um, question is, how does it be created?
as we became more populated and bigger cities and more sophisticated factories, products being built and people having to work with close vicinity from each other and larger teams, 1,000 people, then crowded place, and start to talk about, anxieties and effects of fairness and blah 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 comes into it. I guess you can argue even 10,000 years, and no matter what, even ape society right now trying to build, um, trying to have a bunch of people, some of these apes monitoring the territory to see other people coming in. How do you create that army
Mm,
of 4 apes running around the perimeter? You could organize them in a way that they're more efficient and they work together and they care
mm,
about each other. They would
mm,
do a better job. So
mm.
it is organic. It's any kind of group of creatures trying to do a task together.
And as you say, work has intensified, whether that be, from the early industrial era, from moving to factories
Yeah,
to speeding that up with electricity. And now
yeah.
we're, the fifth industrial revolution, with AI, and, the need to inject humanity into that. At the heart of, these large organizations, or even small businesses, is a deep tension about, how much are things rigid, driving efficiency, versus how much flexibility do we give people.
Mm.
Um,
I guess what's the foundation at part of all this, um, is when you think about companies and people,
mhm,
who are in these companies. Um, at the heart of all this is, if we really distill it to a very simple form, which
mhm.
could be offensive to a lot of people, especially professionals that feel like you. It really is happy shareholders, happy employees.
Mhm,
Really, this is what we're trying to do. Because
mhm,
even the fairness and all kind of nuances, it's going to come back to whether you're happy or not.
mhm, mhm,
So, how many hours are you rewarded correctly? Is it fair compared to other teams? All kind of stuff stems to happy employees, happy shareholders, right?
mhm,
That's
mhm,
really what we're trying to do, to create
mhm,
that balance, right?
mhm.
And I guess if that's the case, this is organic. You can see it was there 10,000 years ago, and it's going to be here in the next million years.
And I suppose in my conversation, what I've encouraged us to do is to sort of think about, that challenge about, happy stakeholders and happy
Hmm.
employees, from different levels. What can we do as individuals? What can we bring to work? Then what can we do to set up teams to achieve those outcomes? And then what can we do at the organizational level? Because if you take any one of those, the passion for learning at the individual
Mm.
level, you take about, how you share that learning internally and externally at the team, or then how you structure the organization at a larger level to enable this collaboration. If you only take it at one level, um, the other levels are going to erode, right? So
Yeah.
you could employ someone who has a passion for learning, right?
Mm.
But then you don't give them space in the organizational
Mm.
design to continue that learning in their work and to share that with their team.
Put it
then it's going to be
practice, in a
eroded.
sense, try and reduce it. And this is what you talked about, to soft landing of that, meaning how they can bring some of that learning and try and test it out and
Yep.
in their real job is part of that space, part of you taking a risk. Allow them to do that. You're right. It does take maturity and deliberate, sort of strategy by management to allow for that to happen. Otherwise, just learning, they continue to learn, and whenever they want to bring any of these ideas, they go, no, not today, whatever, too risky. Then you're right, that will not going to work. So it is a strategic and deliberate investment to make that work. And, I cannot even see, to your point, that's probably so important. I cannot even see it otherwise. Are you going to continue to grow and continue to stay up to date? Because you know what I say to my people, every developer in our business will know this about me. I say to them, I want you to, for us, it's like a double-edged sword. I want you to be always sharp, that you're so employable that we can lose you. I don't want you to be a blunt tool. So you have no option, but you stay with us. Oh my God, this is the worst thing. I want you to stay here to be sharp, but you still want to be here. This is the only way. So that double-edged sword. So I'm getting you to learn so you become employable. So if I piss you off, you can go somewhere else. So I don't piss you off, but at the same time, you're happy because you're happy and you're learning. Well, why do you want to go anywhere else?